Now, I'm not the type to sit around spreading rumors, but if there's real tea spilling, I'm not about to ignore it either. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks, where things get messy, loud, and way too real to pretend it's all sunshine. I keep it simple, I keep it honest, and yes, sometimes the truth sounds like gossip when it hits this hard. And trust me, what's going on right now is not some tiny family squabble you whisper about at dinner. This is the kind of situation that has people picking sides, shaking heads, and asking a whole lot of uncomfortable questions. Look, I truly don't have time for petty chatter, but this story keeps blowing up everywhere, and people will not stop asking about it. My messages are flooded, comments are stacked, and clearly this drama isn't cooling off anytime soon. So yes, we're talking about it, but we're keeping it quick and straight to the point, because honestly, it's exhausting watching families fall apart in public like this. Before we dive in, make sure you're locked in with this channel. Hit subscribe, tap that bell, and stay in the loop so you don't miss any updates, because when news drops, it drops fast and loud. No one likes being the last to know when the internet is already 10 steps ahead. Alright, back to the situation everyone keeps buzzing about. Tommy Williams, Wendy Williams' own brother, jumped onto his YouTube channel this past Saturday, and let's just say he did not hold back at all. He looked hurt, frustrated, and honestly stunned as he spoke directly to his viewers about something deeply personal. According to Tommy, the pain comes from the fact that Wendy did not show up to their mother's funeral, a moment that most families consider sacred, no matter what drama exists. You could hear the disappointment between every word. Like, this wasn't just anger, this was heartbreak mixed with confusion. People online immediately started debating, wondering what could possibly keep a daughter away from saying goodbye to her own mother, especially during such a public time in Wendy's life. Tommy made it clear this wasn't a small oversight in his eyes. This cut deep, and he wanted answers, just like everyone else watching. And right there, in the middle of pouring his feelings out to the world, he revealed just how personal this situation really is when he said Wendy Williams did not attend their mother's funeral.
What would make somebody not go to their own mother's funeral?
Now here's where things start getting really complicated, and honestly, kind of heartbreaking too. After the wake, I spoke with Tommy, and he laid out exactly what went down that night. According to him, Wendy did show up. Big Kev was there, Lil Kev was there. The whole situation felt tense but calm at the same time. Tommy said Lil Kev stayed mostly in the back on his computer, keeping to himself, while Wendy stood off to the side in what looked like a hazmat-style outfit. No mask, just fully covered and distant, almost like she wanted to be invisible. Nobody crowded her, nobody approached her, and she clearly didn't want conversation or comfort from anyone. She was present physically, but emotionally, it felt like she was miles away. Before the wake even started, Wendy had already told family members she wasn't staying long. She reportedly said, "I'm only here for tonight, I'm flying back tomorrow," making it clear she planned to attend the wake and nothing else. That left relatives confused, but they didn't push it. Grief is messy, and people cope in ways that don't always make sense. So they basically shrugged and accepted it, assuming she needed to get back home for personal reasons. From what Tommy and two other attendees confirmed, the wake itself went smoothly. No drama, no scene, just a respectful and emotional goodbye. It was described as beautiful, peaceful, and a proper first farewell to their mother. The funeral the next day was a different story. Tommy was there supporting their father, Wanda was there supporting him too, but Wendy was not. Still, nobody panicked because she had already said she wouldn't attend. They thought she was gone, back on a plane, back to her life. Then things took a confusing turn that nobody saw coming. After the funeral, Tommy got a call from Big Kev, and what he said stopped Tommy cold. Kev told him that he and Wendy had gone out to eat earlier, then returned to the house and spent the day watching Tommy's YouTube videos. He even asked Tommy what direction he was trying to go with those videos, like this was some casual conversation. Tommy's first reaction wasn't anger, it was shock. He kept thinking, wait, Wendy is still here? Because he believed she had already left town. Kev confirmed it plainly. Yes, she was there the whole time. They had been out, then back home all day. Tommy immediately got off the phone and asked his father if he knew Wendy hadn't left. His father said no, he had no idea. So he called Wendy himself, and sure enough, she was still in town. That's when the real confusion and probably the real hurt hit hard. If she was still there, why didn't she come to the funeral? Everyone had accepted her absence because they thought she was gone, not because she chose not to attend. Now, let's be fair for a second. Wendy technically doesn't owe anyone an explanation. Grief is personal, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming in ways you can't even describe. Some people can handle one service, but not two, especially back to back. Even I'll admit, splitting the pain across 2 days can feel unbearable. One long goodbye is hard enough. Repeating it the next day can feel like reopening the wound all over again. Wendy may have simply reached her emotional limit after the wake, and that's human. But here's where it gets tricky. If she had told her father directly, "I can't do both," maybe he wouldn't have been left wondering or asking Tommy questions nobody could answer. At 89 years old, having just lost his wife, he wasn't looking for drama. He was looking for comfort from his children. And when that comfort didn't show up the way he expected, it likely hurt deeper than anyone realized. Especially considering that when Wendy needed support during a difficult time in her own life, she went to Florida and stayed close to her parents. They were there for her when she was vulnerable. So now, in his moment of loss, he may have expected that same presence in return. Instead, from his perspective, she was nearby, but not there beside him when it mattered most. That kind of situation can leave an elderly parent feeling confused, abandoned, and heartbroken all at once. Of course, everyone grieves differently, and none of this makes Wendy a villain. She may simply process pain privately, trying to stay strong because that's the image she's carried for years. But this is one of those moments where strength doesn't mean silence. Sometimes it means admitting you can't handle it. Saying, "I can't do this," is not weakness, it's honesty. Then came Saturday, when Tommy went on YouTube and let his emotions spill out in real time. He was grieving, frustrated, and clearly overwhelmed. And when people are hurting, sometimes they say things they might later regret. He told viewers that Wendy did not attend the funeral, something many people hadn't known before. Once those words hit the internet, there was no pulling them back. The story exploded instantly. By Monday, the situation had escalated even more when Wendy appeared on television and responded publicly, turning a private family matter into something the whole world was now watching unfold.
Okay, on Monday, Wendy came on TV and she said this.
Tommy, let me tell you something right now. All you are is my brother. You better stop talking the way you're talking, because now it's dripping into my comment page. See, I wasn't searching for Tommy. And I'm seeing a lot of comments about your brother doesn't like you, or you better watch your back because your brother's on one. Or, Wendy, I can't believe you're this kind of person, or that he's pegging me to be a person that I am not.
Let me say this quickly, because this part really hits deep. When a family has a strong, loving mother, and by all accounts, Miss Shirley was exactly that, she becomes the anchor that keeps everyone steady. The family is like a boat floating on rough water, and as long as that anchor is down, nobody drifts too far off course. But the moment that anchor is lifted, everything starts spinning. People pull in different directions, old tensions surface, misunderstandings grow, and suddenly, the whole family dynamic feels unfamiliar and unstable. It's not even about drama at that point, it's grief mixed with confusion, and that combination can shake even the closest families apart.
Honey, you don't want me to start pegging you to be the person that you are.
I truly believe Miss Shirley had the kind of presence that could calm storms before they turned into hurricanes. If she were still here, she likely could have pulled Wendy and Tommy into the same room, said a few firm words, and that would have been the end of it. No public fallout, no messy back and forth, no internet circus. Some mothers just have that authority wrapped in love, the kind nobody argues with because deep down they know she's right. But now that stabilizing force is gone, and you can see how quickly things are unraveling.
Norman, do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're talking about.
Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
Right.
By the way, do you like my dress, Tommy?
Yeah.
He would like a dress like this. Excuse me, crew in the back. You and your wife better get your life. before I get it for you.
Emotions are raw, communication is off, and small issues are blowing up into something way bigger than they needed to be. Now, Wendy, let's talk honestly for a moment. If your issue is with Tommy, then keep it with Tommy. Bringing his wife into it, especially someone who has stayed respectful and out of the spotlight, felt unnecessary and harsh. From what I've heard, she's a kind woman who didn't sign up for public crossfire. Meanwhile, Tommy has reportedly spoken positively about Big Kev, so dragging spouses into the situation just escalates tension instead of solving anything. And bringing up someone's sexuality during an argument, that surprised a lot of people because it shifts the focus away from the real issue and into territory that can hurt more people than intended. Honestly, this is where a strong public relations strategy could have saved a lot of trouble. Sometimes less talking is better than saying too much. The simplest response Wendy could have given publicly would have been calm, direct, and respectful. We all grieve differently. I attended one service, I couldn't attend both, and I'm asking for privacy. That's it. No extra details, no personal shots, no reopening wounds. One clear statement could have shut down speculation and kept the focus on mourning instead of conflict. Tommy later returned online with a completely different tone, softer, emotional, and still protective of his sister despite everything. He made it clear he loves Wendy and isn't trying to destroy her publicly. His main frustration wasn't fame, views, or attention. It was a simple question he keeps getting from his father over and over. Wendy, why didn't you come to the funeral? And when you can't answer a grieving parent's question, that weight sits heavy on everyone involved.
The main thing that I'm asking you, Wendy, is please tell Daddy why you didn't attend the funeral.
So the very next day, Wendy went back on her show and tried to clear the air, or at least her version of it. She told viewers, "Hey, I talked to my dad and he said I didn't do anything wrong," which immediately got people talking all over again. Because when a situation is already tense, even a calm statement can sound loaded depending on how folks hear it. She made it seem like everything between her and her father was settled, like there was no conflict left behind the scenes. But as we've all seen, family situations are rarely that simple, especially when grief is still fresh and emotions are running high. Wendy went on to explain that she did attend the service, but she didn't specify which one, and that tiny detail had the internet doing detective work in real time, because technically there were two services, the wake and the funeral. People who had been following closely already knew she was present at the wake, quietly in the background, not interacting much and keeping a low profile. But she did not attend the funeral the following day, and that distinction matters to a lot of people, especially family members who expected both moments to be shared together. By choosing not to clarify which service she meant, it left room for interpretation, and once that door opens, speculation rushes in fast. Some viewers felt she was being intentionally vague, while others believed she simply didn't want to relive the details publicly. Either way, the lack of specificity only added fuel to an already emotional situation. To be fair, speaking publicly while grieving is incredibly difficult. Every word gets picked apart, replayed, and analyzed by strangers who weren't there and don't know the full story. Wendy may have been trying to protect herself, her father, or the family as a whole by keeping things general, but when tensions are already high, even a small omission can look suspicious, whether that was the intention or not. At the end of the day, what's confirmed is simple. Wendy showed up for the wake, she paid her respects in her own quiet way, and she did not attend the funeral the next day. Everything else, the reasons, the emotions, the private conversations, lives inside that family circle, not on a stage for the world to dissect. Still, once it's discussed on television, people will talk, question, and react, because that's just how public life works when personal pain becomes public knowledge.
I'm not mad at you. You did the right thing. I said, Dad, but there's more to the story, and you know it, and you know it. So here it is. Count me down, because I don't want to spend more than a minute and a half on this. Seriously. Tommy, you know I was at Mommy's service. And you know she looked beautiful in her casket. And you know that you fist fought a loving member of our family, half your age, who was supposed to be somebody, a blood relative, everyone, not my son. My son is in the back, shocked that he's at his grandmother's funeral, studying for midterm. And I'm going between a closed service, saying hello to people, and also my son wanted me to quiz him so that he gets an A. It's weird how kids are, but he's 20 and it was something.
Here's another piece of this situation that has people seriously raising their eyebrows. From everything I understand, Wendy's father is the type of man who values respect, especially during something as sacred as a funeral. He doesn't strike me as someone who would tolerate chaos, fighting, or drama at a service meant to honor his late wife, and then casually hang out afterward like nothing happened.
You started a fight over an open casket right there with my mother. Thank God we were at a civilized funeral home. And the man of the funeral home blocked so mommy wouldn't fall out and there'd be a catastrophe. You should know better at 53.
That just doesn't line up with the image people have of him at all. If something explosive really went down, you would expect distance, tension, maybe even silence afterward, not daily visits and normal conversations. But according to multiple accounts, Tommy has been spending consistent time with his father since the service, stopping by regularly, sitting with him, supporting him, just being present during a devastating loss. That doesn't sound like someone who was just involved in some major blow-up that would fracture the family overnight. On top of that, I personally spoke with Tommy and 2 other individuals who were actually there, and none of their stories match the version that Wendy shared publicly, not one. When multiple first-hand witnesses tell similar accounts that contradict a public statement, it naturally makes people wonder what the real timeline looks like. Now, I'm not saying anyone is deliberately trying to mislead people. Grief can distort memory, emotions can blur details, and stressful moments don't always get recalled perfectly. But the inconsistencies are hard to ignore, especially when the stakes are this personal and this public at the same time. It leaves a lot of observers confused, asking why the narratives are so different when they're all talking about the exact same day. There's also something else longtime viewers have pointed out, a small habit Wendy tends to show during uncomfortable moments on camera. When she's under pressure or addressing sensitive topics, she sometimes fidgets with whatever's in front of her, like a packet, a cup, or her notes, while looking downward instead of directly ahead. Some fans remember a similar behavior during past segments when she insisted everything was fine in Huntersville, even as rumors swirled. Of course, nervous gestures don't prove anything on their own. People fidget for all kinds of reasons, especially on live television under emotional strain. Still, when body language, conflicting accounts, and high emotions all collide at once, it creates a cloud of uncertainty that's hard for the public to ignore. Whether it's misunderstanding, miscommunication, or simply private pain spilling into public view, one thing is clear: this situation is far more complicated than a single statement can explain.
You did the right thing. I said, Dad, but there's more to the story, and you know it, and you know it. So here it is. You know I was at Mommy's service. And you know she looked beautiful in her casket. And you know that you fist fought a loving member of our family.
Honestly, I don't know if Wendy is carrying guilt about attending the wake but not the funeral, and if she is, that would be completely human. Situations like this happen more often than people admit, especially when grief hits in waves and you don't realize your limits until you're already overwhelmed. Missing one part of a service doesn't erase the love you had for the person, and it doesn't define your entire relationship with them either. So if that's what's weighing on her, she shouldn't feel like it's some unforgivable mistake, because it isn't. Life, emotions, and loss are messy, not perfectly scheduled events you can control. What has people puzzled, though, is the way the story keeps shifting and getting stranger each time it's told. The details feel scattered, unclear, and at times downright confusing, which only fuels more speculation online.
Topic.
In a weird kind of way, Norman, I love the attention.
Right.
But it wasn't a plant. It's some sort of weird story going around the internet regarding my husband. Now look, I'm a straight shooter, pow. All you gotta do is Google him and you see the story. You can believe what you want, but don't believe the hype. And if there was hype, believe me, I would let you know.
Some observers are wondering whether the pressure of being in the spotlight is making everything harder to explain clearly, while others think there could be outside factors influencing how much she shares publicly. When you're a public figure, even your grief becomes content whether you want it to or not, and that pressure can twist a private moment into a public spectacle fast. There's also chatter about timing, specifically that Wendy has a project coming out, and some people suspect all this noise keeps her name trending. Now, to be fair, Wendy has always known how to command attention and dominate headlines. That's part of why she became such a powerful media personality in the first place. But whether this situation is intentional buzz or simply unfortunate timing, nobody outside her inner circle truly knows. It could be strategy, coincidence, or just life unfolding in the harsh glare of public scrutiny. At the end of the day, this back and forth between siblings has turned into something way bigger than a private disagreement. It's emotional, complicated, and painfully public, with both sides speaking out while the internet watches every move. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you honestly think is going on between Wendy Williams and her brother? Do you see this as a misunderstanding, unresolved hurt, or something deeper bubbling under the surface? Drop your thoughts below because the conversation around this situation is definitely not slowing down anytime soon. And if you've been following this story with me, make sure you stay connected. Hit that subscribe button, tap like, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new updates or breakdowns as this unfolds. You already know we keep it real, we keep it respectful, and we keep you informed every step of the way.